I'm down at Neepsend in Sheffield, and we've just interviewed local business owners about the road changes around here. And following this quick introduction, you'll be able to listen to what the business owners think about these proposed road changes around it. It's much more than the clean air zone. It's putting double yellows in, changing the road system, blocking roads off, putting cycle lanes in, bus only lanes, you name it. So the business owners now have actually told us what they think about it all, and you can hear it from the horse's mouth.
Right, so we're in Neepsend today, and your business is going to be affected by this clean air zone, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me how it's going to affect you.
It could potentially close us down, because they're wanting to close the road which passes our garage, which has been there for over 50 years, family business with my father, Mick, and they just want to shut the road to make it for pedestrians, but they're only closing a section of it, so that bikes are safe for about 20 yards or something like that. And then they'll be back onto Rutland Road, where there's lots of traffic.
How's the council treated you in respect of this? Have you had any complaints, put in yourself? Have you put any complaints in?
Everyone here has put complaints in. Everyone here is going to affect because of parking and one-way streets and ridiculous system to drive around to get to our garage.
And how have the council treated you with regards to the complaints?
They've not heard anything from them really.
How long ago when you complained?
We've all signed petitions and sent emails to them, but not had any replies whatsoever.
How long ago when you complained?
It's been in past month or so.
So we had a meeting at Leadmill, which was nothing.
At Kelham Island.
Kelham Island, yeah.
And how did that go?
Sorry?
And how did the meeting go at Kelham Island?
It was just showing us what they were doing, and basically they could do nothing. We suggested some things and they just didn't accept that. It was a waste of time really. We've got the plans, they're a bit vague. But it will affect us. I mean, literally we'll close the road off past our workshop. We rely on passing trains, as everybody else does. Yeah. It will literally not do any good to the area. All the people like these small businesses will be exactly the same. They won't be able to load, unload on Burton Road. It's just going to freeze it. Look at sandwich shop for a start. Krusty Cobb. Like every morning these wagons right around there. All right, they've got cones. They get the food there. They rely on it. I mean, my lads rely on it. We employ people who rely on it. But it's just everything. It's just stupid, absolutely. A useless gesture to put about 50 yards of cycle track and walkway in. We've literally got enough walkways up and down the Don. You can almost walk to Rotherham, down the River Don. We don't need another 10 yards, 50 yards or whatever it is, and it will close us up. We just don't need that at all. But the government's given them the money, they've got to spend that money or they give it back. So all they've done is come up with something stupid, like they did on Penistone Road, when they put that cycle lane and literally closed Sheffield down from there. It's ridiculous. It doesn't affect me, it's my son and his family, and the lads who work for us and their families.
Can I just make a point? You've got a group of people behind you representing local businesses. Just from this angle, it actually looks like they're in prison right now, behind bars. Obviously, we can't get everybody in front of the sign because you won't be able to see what the sign says. So, just in a nutshell, how does everybody feel about this in this area?
Ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. We're all going to suffer, there's no doubt about it. This road alone is just going to all be double yellows. I had a meeting with Councillor Douglas 3 months ago regarding the road structure, and basically we had to put our suggestions into the council of what we suggested for the road structure. And obviously we suggested if we're going to do anything we need at least parking bays on there. Ideally we prefer nothing, no double yellows, no parking bays, and leave it as it were. I've been here since '95 and we've had no trouble whatsoever. Businesses have come and gone all the time, but all the council's trying to do is ruin the businesses in this area. That's all they're doing. And this new road structure, it seems that this new road structure, they're wanting to get everybody on the one-way systems back onto the dual carriageway into the clean air zone. And that's what everybody feels is going to be happening.
Has everybody done their own research regarding the air quality in the area?
No.
You have you?
Yeah.
You want to say anything about that? If you just step in. So if you just take the microphone. So what have you found out about the air quality in Sheffield in this area?
So, just before the lockdown, when I first got interested in all of this, yes, the standards that we were supposed to have were exceeded. At the bottom of the parkway, where everyone comes into Sheffield, they were exceeded generally around the train station, they were exceeded generally around the Arundel Gate, and depending, occasionally it was bad on Penistone Road. Obviously we went into lockdown, and I thought that this was brilliant, because we went into lockdown and the only vehicles that were moving around through lockdown were your vans and your lorries, doing your deliveries, actually dealing with the infrastructure. And throughout lockdown, there was no pollution. You never saw any of the standards being exceeded. But it's the vans and the lorries, and to some extent, though they were a reduced service, the buses were still running. And yet, the vans, the lorries and the buses are the ones that are being targeted by your clean air zone. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's a fallacy. Most of the problem is caused because everybody stops and starts and stops and starts and stops and starts around your traffic lights. Since lockdown has been lifted, there's still a goodly percentage of people working from home. And if they're still working from home, they're not driving into offices. And what you've noticed is, apart from around Arundel Gate, where the buses stop, and around the train station, I've not seen anything exceeding the standards until just before Christmas. Penistone Road came to a bit of a standstill because everyone was stuck trying to get in and out to the supermarkets just before Christmas, and there was standing traffic. And that's the only time that Penistone Road, which is outside your clean air zone, ever went back up above the standards for air quality. So your clean air zone is a complete lie. It's a total and utter lie.
Sorry, go on.
Then you move on to what they're trying to do with the Neepsend area. So you've got Kelham Island and Neepsend. When these plans first came out, what they wanted to do with the roads, what they wanted to do with making the pedestrian access, there was a meeting. I attended that meeting, and the main complaints that you had were people parking in Kelham Island and walking into work, which meant that residents couldn't park in Kelham Island, and that people were using Kelham Island as a rat run, which obviously was affecting the air quality in Kelham Island around what's now a very residential area. At that point in time, they were still digging up the ring road around Kelham Island, so that's why people were using it as a rat run. You fix the ring road, you don't need a rat run, so that was brilliant. They complained about the amount of traffic going over the Ball Street Bridge, which was approximately 1 car a minute throughout the course of the day, because people want to get into and out of Kelham Island from somewhere other than the ring road. So their plans seem to be that they would affect everybody by reducing the overall amount of spaces that you can park a vehicle around this whole area by something like 100. I think it was 120 vehicles wouldn't be able to park. They're reducing the amount of businesses that can have people parking for their staff. Never mind people parking in Kelham Island and walking into town. You don't get that round here particularly. There's very few people park up here and then walk into town.
That's all they do.
And that's all they do. But then they walk.
They do.
And
they all park here and walk to town.
But there's not even that many people doing that. There's a lot of people, because there's a lot of businesses in this area where people park and come into
I
work.
think that's the problem. We are an industrial area, 99%. Kelham is 99% residential. It's a completely different area.
Do you want to just come in and speak a little bit more about that?
But if you look at that, the only thing I can see that this plan will do, because there isn't the issue with the pollution so much, there isn't the issue with the cars parking around here. There's not really an issue with cars parking. You can always find somewhere to park within a couple of 100 metres of where you're trying to go. So what's the problem? Why have you got to destroy the area? The only thing that I can possibly see that will benefit this area now, and it won't be for the benefit of any of the industries, any of the businesses that work around here, all it looks like they're trying to do is they're trying to force the businesses to have to close, to have to move to somewhere else, so that these areas, these buildings, these sites become vacant, and then you can buy them up for a song, and you can then build blocks of flats on them, so that Neepsend can now become a new and beautiful place to live, rather than a place where people actually work.
How much council tax will they get out of them flats?
They will probably get
Side
more
roads.
council tax out of flats and properties than they will out of the businesses that own these that run in this area.
Can I just ask people who are here, is there any topics that we could perhaps just briefly express? Does anybody have a topic that needs raising? If you just shout out what it is, maybe I can just put that point forward.
Oh no, topics, roads, isn't it? That's what we're here for.
Anything in
Yeah,
particular?
just
The way the
water.
council have treated you, we can touch upon that again, or, you know...
They've been underhanded in the tactics. They've not came to us as a business and said, look, we're doing this. The council have been very underhandedly handling the situation. They've not come to us directly, they've not discussed it directly, excuse me. They've always happens. They've been very underhanded, very disorganised. We went to a planning meeting at Kelham Island. I asked questions. Apparently my business is in a bus gate completely. I relied somewhat on passing trade, 40%, 48%. Who's going to enter a bus gate into your business? They're not. Although Nandy said, although Planshaw bus gate is currently a one-way bus gate, so traffic goes the other direction. But again, to get to my business, you're going to have to do a 2-mile journey, a 1.5 mile journey to get back to my business if you miss it. It's just going to kill the area completely. But what the council need to do is realistically scrap the whole idea, because what they're doing, they're redirecting traffic on a nice main road onto the side streets, which doesn't make sense. If a bus breaks down on one of these side roads, or a lorry or an HGV, the whole system is just going to get backlogged.
Central government actually proposed the clean air zones to councils and offered a service by central government for to use their services to identify vehicles. So basically it's a service offered by central government which councils can take up if they wish, and it appears that Sheffield City Council and many others have taken that opportunity and also are now paying central government for some of their services to enforce this new clean air zone. What do you think about that? If anybody else has an opinion about that.
I can't really comment on that. I'm not surprised. It does seem to be government led. I'm not sure if the road changes in this area are government led or council led. It does seem to be what this gentleman to my left was saying. It is that they wanted us to kick us out so they can build nice pretty flats. If they want to do that, they need to pay us compensation to relocate, and it's as simple as that.
There are a lot of vans on the road, small vans that are older than 2016, actually got the same running gear as a car. Does anybody know anything about car mechanics? You know,
I've had to sell my 1.6 caddy.
Sorry?
I've had to sell my little van because it was a 14 reg, it was only a Euro 4 diesel. Yeah, it comes as a car. I'm sure a van is probably more economical because it's lighter generally, because it's not carrying goods, my van. It's got a pair of ladders in the back. So, yeah, I don't see why common sense doesn't prevail again.
So does this look like an attack on small businesses to you?
Yeah. Predominantly in this area, I'd say 90% of these businesses in this area are small businesses.
It's my understanding as well, there's a lot of small businesses with vans on HP, hire purchase, so they can't sell the vehicles yet. And they may even have another 2 or 3 years to go, and it might be older than 2016. So they're caught in a trap there as well, aren't they?
Yeah, again, this clean air zone is funny because if you're following SatNav, you're going to go through the clean air zone, it's going to take you through it. But if I kept my old van, which I didn't, I got a Euro 6 van instead because I didn't want to pay £10 a day. But you can drive around it and still get to the areas you need to, and that's what they're not realising.
How well do you know this area?
Pretty well.
So coming from Hillsborough Football Ground on Penistone Road,
Yep.
and you go left, there's a sign saying now, a new sign has just been erected, quarter mile ahead, clean air zone. If you take the left-hand lane, and you see that clean air zone ahead of you, if you can't get back into the right-hand lane to go around the roundabout and go back again, you can't avoid it. So if you're in that left-hand lane at the roundabout, you see the sign in front of you, you can turn left into Kelham Island, but once you go in there, are you aware of this, that there are actually plant pots blocking off road, so you have to come out onto the clean air zone?
You're forced in, yeah.
What's your thoughts about that with the council?
Obviously, being a local driver, you'd use your common sense and avoid it and not even go that way. As I've said, if you're unlocal or you forget or something like that, yes, you're going to have to pay £10.
Do you think that's a bit of a trap, that, like an entrapment? So if you want to turn left before the sign, anybody who doesn't know the area will think there's a way out.
Yeah.
But there's not.
No.
If you turn left before that sign, eventually you get sucked out because of the plant pots.
Yeah.
Do you think them plant pots should be removed?
Yes, because
It lets
it's
you get
a
out
way of
the-
getting out of the clean air zone
Just
back
pass the
over.
mic over. Yeah.
It's a way of getting out of the clean air zone back over the bridge. This is the problem. This is what we were saying. Is the road structure what they're doing? It feels as if they're wanting everybody to go round back onto the clean air zone. I mean, why put a clean air zone on a dual carriage on a ring road? It should have been kept clear, so all the lorries or whatever can all get past, get through on the ring road without having to pay these charges. But like I said, more than anything, today we're mainly, but only here, just talking about all the road structure, and me myself from the business behind me. It's the road I'm on, which we're absolutely is ludicrous, having double yellows on all the way down the road. No parking whatsoever. I know still raised about people parking and walking to town. This road alone, there's nobody parks here and walks to town. I can tell you, these cars on this road, every one of these work in these businesses. Where on earth are they going to park when they put double yellows on these roads? It's absolutely crazy. And the road behind me, where they wanted to divert everybody on, you've got Arctics going all the way around. There's no way Arctics is going to turn that corner.
No way.
You know, there's no way. And this is what they count. They've probably got somebody from Leeds or whatever, I don't know, somebody what doesn't know Sheffield, what's come up with this idea on this road plan. Definitely, that's going to be it.
So lorries have got to go through clean air zone to get to here. To get to this business,
it's all about
a lorry will
pushing
have to go
clean
through
air
clean
zone.
air zone.
You know,
There's no possible way they can get
But
here
the thing with the
without
clean air zone is you can pay to pollute. What's that all about? You know, you either can't go through it, it's a clean air zone, but you can pay to go through it, so you can pollute it, but you've got to pay for it. You know, but the thing is, a van can't go through, but a 10 or 15-year-old Land Rover, what's still pumping out bigger emissions than what a van can pump out, can still go through. So what I'm saying is, get ready, because 18 months' time, I'll tell you now, public cars is going to be getting done as well. It's a matter of time before it happens. They're trialling businesses to start with, and then it will turn to the general public, like London has, like Oxford have. They're all doing it, and that's what's going to happen.
You mentioned London. Sadiq Khan's trying to expand his ultra-low emission zone, and it's been reported now that people are cutting the wires on the cameras and spraying the lenses. Obviously that's criminal damage.
Yeah.
It's not condoned. Do you think people might start doing that in the future if it carries on with the Sheffield Council?
I hope they don't, because the people's going to get into serious trouble doing that. You know, I should hope people power, I'm hoping, is going to prevail everything, and we can get this road structure maybe, you know, scrapped or whatever. Like Ecclesall Road, I believe I've been told recently they've scrapped that through people power, or they've delayed it even further, you know, in time. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not too up on that, but I've been told. So all we've got to do is get together and hopefully we'll try and slow things down.
Have some of your customers been making tours round the clean air zone to avoid it?
I've certainly found a drop in business because we also have Arctics come and everything, and I've had phone calls ringing me saying, you know, we don't want to be coming down because so and so. So I've literally been sending my van to customers to pick up. You know, obviously the big stuff I can't do anything about because we don't have a flat that way. We've only got a box of van. But where I can with my customers, because we're okay and we're exempt from it, we go and collect ourselves, which is now taking my guy out of production, back on the road.
So some of these small vans that can go around this clean air zone are going to create more pollution than they would if they went round the actual zone itself.
Well, this area, they're sending everybody up Rutland Road, and Rutland Road is busy at any time. You know, so are they not going to pollute Rutland Road? You know, and another thing
Where
is,
people live.
And another thing is, does air not move? Does air just stay in the town centre? Does it not move? You know, so it's just ludicrous. The road structure's ludicrous, and the clean air zone is ludicrous.
Have you got a message for Sheffield City Council?
Do you really want me to answer that? You need to wake up and smell the coffee, I'm afraid, and listen to small businesses, because regarding Neepsend and Kelham Island, we've been here for a lot of years, and this was a rundown area till small businesses moved in and rejuvenated it up. Now they want to get shut of us and bring in all these flats and whatever.
Exactly.
You know, and also through the lockdown, small businesses kept everybody going. You know, we did. I never closed once. I kept open. We kept, paying us taxes and everything. So we're all paying. We pay the VAT. We pay everybody. If it wasn't for small businesses, all they're interested in is big companies, and it's small businesses what keeps the economy running. It's as simple as that.
What we need is a councillor to come down here and take them for a drive round these little roads.
In an Arctic.
Yeah. No, you couldn't do it in an Arctic, it's not possible.
If they drive on
Get
there...
one down, take them for a drive round and show them how they would have to get to our garage and how all our customers will have to get to our garage, because they're just going to pollute the air even more because they've got to do a big detour. And it's not, to us here, it's not really just about clean air zone. It's about our customers trying to get to us.
Loss of business.
Which is, I know it's caused by this, but it doesn't have to change round here because of this. We've got old customers that are 80 odd, 90 odd year old that won't be able to find us anymore. They won't be able to get to our business. And if they do, they've got to drive even further to get there, which is polluting the air even more. So it's madness.
Is there anything that anybody wants to highlight while we're here? Anything
just for one thing, the road where they're going to go down here, Arctics, if they turn left, there's a railway there.
You can't get under there.
There's a bridge which is low enough to take the top off a box van, never mind an Arctic. So they will turn left. The sat-nav might send them up there, but they don't realise that it's just not passable on that road. If you went round there now, if you could take that round and walk down, you'd see for yourself that it's just not sensible at all. Right, anybody else?
Does anybody else want to add to anything?
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
When this, for all the road improvements, let's say, this scheme that they're trying to put in around Kelham Island and Neepsend, when they first put that, I put in my objection through the consultation document, and I went through all of the comments, and it was quite interesting to see that there wasn't a single business that said anything positive about the proposals. There wasn't a single business nor anybody that works within Neepsend that complained about that said anything negative, anything positive rather, about the proposals. The only people that said anything positive were people who occasionally walk through the area or occasionally drive through the area, or I come down to one of the bars once a month. Nobody of any of the comments that I read, and there were a lot of them, that lived in this area or worked in this area said particularly much positive about it. There was in fact one of the blocks of flats over in Kelham Island that when they were told they would have to apply, that they would all be, all of these flats, all of your residents will be allowed to apply for a parking permit. Oh, except anybody in this block of flats, because you get a reduced council tax because you don't have cars. Specifically, this building is a non-car area. At which point, half the residents in that block of flats that were in there said, we didn't know that. Nobody ever said that when we occupied our flat. What do you mean we can't park our car on the road? So they won't be allowed to. So it's just stupid. And businesses around here, you look at these guys, each business apparently can have 2 parking permits. Well, thank you. You've got to pay for them. It doesn't guarantee you a space, but each business can only have 2 parking spaces. Well, what use is that? I mean, absolutely no use at all. It's almost like the council have gone, well, we've got to go through this process, but we are going to ignore everybody who it will actually affect. I mean, the idea of a pedestrian and a cycle route that will take you all the way out of Neepsend into nowhere. There's nothing there. Where are these pedestrians going to be going to that it's worth closing a bloody road for? They're not coming from anywhere, they're not going to anywhere because, you know what, there's nothing there. It's pointless.
What's been happening in Birmingham, the clean air zone charges, thousands of people are having them written off by the Birmingham Council because they can't keep up with people not paying. Do you think that's a tactic moving forward? If everybody didn't pay, they would have to scrap it?
Yeah. I think they would. Yeah. But it's wrong. It's wrong that you should actually have to do that. Your council, and this is one that really kind of like makes me wonder, your council is elected by you to serve you, not to dictate to you. We've not gone, I'm going to elect this dictator, thank you very much. They are there to serve their people. They are there to serve their constituents. This doesn't feel remotely like anyone is serving us. This is an idea that because the government are paying this money and they don't want to give that money back, which is one comment that I've heard from a member of the not the council, but from the local government, that's not serving us.
And government itself doesn't have any money; it's our tax money.
Yeah, it's like what's the point? Don't spend. Is it £2.5 million on trashing the roads in this area? Spend it on something useful.
Give it to NHS.
Give it to the NHS. give it to schools. Improve your schools in the area. Don't just destroy the area that you've got local businesses working in. Anyway.
You've mentioned businesses weren't consulted. Is there any trail of any consultation, any effort from council to actually to reach out to businesses?
I got an email, and if I'm interested, I could have signed up to get notifications so that I can then crawl through a thing. But I had to know that I could sign up for notifications.
But it wasn't specifically saying that will be such significant changes that they want to consult on.
I've had nothing directly from the council. The only things that I've actually had were forwarded to me originally by the Kelham Island and Neepsend Community Alliance.
So my question, maybe I will rephrase.
So the council have never been in touch with me to say, as a business of 19 years standing, we're going to do this to your area. I've had nothing from the council.
So they never reach out to the businesses to consult. That's my question.
Only through very vague.
Yeah, but there's only me. I've had an email from Councillor Douglas. But ours is basically about this road, about the double yellows and the parking. So I have had emails, and I've got them, which I'm going to print out and give to relevant people whoever need them. But I've had them from Councillor Douglas just saying that we all had to put a proposal into the council or what we thought. As I said earlier, that's the only thing we've had. I've had a 300 company petition put into them, and they've even ignored that. Nothing's been done.
300 businesses signed petition. And
Yes,
they
I've got them. Yeah, on paper. Yeah, all around the areas. But obviously, I've realised today there's a few other businesses what haven't signed. But this petition went in 5 months ago, something like that. We sent this petition in, and I thought everybody signed it. And obviously, we've got a few here today. What haven't?
Yeah, we can see it.
No.
Nothing at all.
So they're well aware of the problem in the area, but it's like anything. If they've got the power, they just overrule it.
They'll just ignore it.
They just overrule it. They're not interested. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.